Hi, Candi.
Hello, Dr. Davia.
Thank you for joining us all the way from Germany. Really, really happy to have you. Will you tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do?
Absolutely. For those who don't know me, my name is Candi Sterling. I am a personal brand strategist, founder of On Her Mission, and I help the woman expert generate more buzz and build and create more demand about her knowledge and expertise through personal branding. And I'm just super thrilled to be on today with you guys.
Awesome. And Bevan, would you mind just hopping off mute and just telling us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do?
Yes, and I should be off mute. You're hearing me
I'm
okay?
hearing you perfectly.
Perfect. So I'm Bevan, and I am head of sales at a company called Peach. And I'm just sporting a little branding today. I hope it's okay, Candi. Did I do the branding part okay?
Love it.
And we are, yes, a women's apparel brand, but we stand for so much more than that. And we're on a mission to be a force for good to help women thrive. And I am delighted to be in partnership with two brilliant and beautiful women on the inside and out here today. So thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. Awesome. So, guys, let's get started. Candi, I'm going to let you take this over, grab the reins, and just tell us all the things that we're doing not so well about our branding and how we can do it a whole lot better.
Thank you. Thank you. So we are going to be taking it from the angle of confidence today, and just wherever you are, wherever you're starting, wherever you're moving forward from, just stepping in to your next phase. I love what you were sharing earlier, Dr. Davia, about transforming around those obstacles. And we're going to talk about how to do that with some confidence and how to thrive in your zone of genius and live your optimal life confidently. So it's going to be a lot of fun the next hour. So thank you to all the ladies that are on. Hi, Janice. And so we're going to walk you through how to create your ultimate confidence toolkit that basically consists of items that are hopefully already in your closet. And so I invite, for those of you over on Facebook, to participate throughout our time together. And later in the hour, I also am going to invite everybody to share their confidence cultivation item. And if you were able to bring that along, if not, do not worry. I'm not a worries person. All you need to do as we move forward and lead up to that part is just either think or find a specific beauty item, accessory, or wardrobe piece that you currently own that helps you foster your own sense of confidence whenever you put it on. And we're going to dig into that a little bit more. But before we dive in, I am super thrilled to be on today with Bevan. We spoke last week, and I met her. We met in person briefly as we were preparing for the fall, and you were leading the fashion show. And I am just really excited because Bevan is somebody who is really a catalyst for confidence. And that really just came through so strongly in our last conversation together. And I'm all about intention. So we're going to set the intention for this session, really opening up with a spotlight on Bevan and her work. And so, Bevan, I know you introduced yourself a little bit, but I invite you now to kind of just share a little bit more about your philosophy on women's empowerment and how that relates to personal development, because you have so much to share.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I think the best place to start is to say, to ask the question, actually, that might be in someone's head, that is, what the heck does a women's apparel brand have any right to be in the space of talking about personal development? Like, where's the connection? Because often we are given this great opportunity to speak to communities of women, and we do speak on personal and professional development topics, but where is the connection? And I think what you're bringing forward today is exactly where the connection is that when we can dress our outside in something that flatters, and makes you feel beautiful, confident, it gives you permission. And I talked to you on the call, Candi, about how I think this word is so important. It gives us as women permission to look in the mirror and stand up a little straighter and say, hey, I'm looking pretty good today, or I'm looking pretty kick-ass today, or I'm ready to take on the world today. And how we dress ourselves on the outside can really impact how we feel on the inside, and then vice versa. How we feel on the inside can truly impact what others see and feel from us on the outside. And so when we founded this company, we realized that yes, we were going to create a women's apparel brand, but we really couldn't stop there. We had to do more because there was more to be done. There was more to integrate these two worlds of the inside and the outside. And so that's why we created a brand that's on a mission to be a force for good, to help women thrive. And yes, that means we put her in great clothes. And it also means we spend time ministering to her on the inside through personal and professional development. And everywhere along the way, we look to interact with amazing women such as yourself, such as Dr. Davia, to empower and engage female entrepreneurs. I guess we could say today across the globe, since you're across the globe right now. I usually say in the United States, but hey, we're across the globe now too. So yeah, that's why we're here. And I'll say one other thing, and I think it's important. I said it fast, but it's worth going back to. And I think I know for sure it's a part of your mindset, and I know for sure it's a part of Dr. Davia's mindset. But when you sense an opportunity to do more, it's not even something you could do at that moment. It's what you must do. If you see an open opportunity and you can do it, you have the capability, or you can figure out how to do it, then it's our job to step into that void and to fill that void up, and do more. And so I'm excited for being a part of this community, because I think this community is all about that.
Oh my gosh, that was just like, you gave me chills for so many reasons, talking about the giving ourselves permission just to be the best that we can possibly be, and looking in the mirror, and the work that as it happens from the outside in and from the inside out. That is just so powerful. And thank you so much for sharing that. And before I let you hop, I have one more question for you. It's a little, just a deeper dive into your motivation, your why. You're a founding member, which I did when I was speaking with you. I'm like, oh my God, that's huge. I didn't even realize that. And so I think that's really important to kind of share your motivation, because so many women might be struggling with just feeling motivated. And that's a huge thing. And I think you're so high energy, and I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. So my story is long and has some twists and some turns, but I'll make it short, and I hope helpful and impactful. I have 4 children, and I stayed home with my children for the first 10 years. And then I went to work. And when I went to work, and people would say, well, what are you going back to work? You know, I'd stayed home. What are you going back to? And I would say, what do you mean going back? I never worked before, because I went to college, had my children, and had no career. And so I found myself in my 30s actually starting to work. And as I started to work, I realized what truly fulfilled me was being in community and in relationship with people. And along the way, I figured out I'm a pretty darn good salesperson. And so there's no better career, I think, than being inside the world of sales, because selling is not about getting someone to buy something from you or getting someone to do something for you. It's about building relationship. And that is what drives me, are relationships. And in particular, as I've evolved through my career, what I've learned that truly fills me up is the opportunity for myself to learn. I just love to learn anything and everything, and then having the opportunity to share that learning with others. And in particular, I love to make a translation point between what might be stuck in academic jargon, or a really dry textbook, or a really dry research, project, and you're like, what? Nobody wants to touch that with a 10-foot pole. But I want to find the nugget that's inside of it that actually could be very impactful in people's lives, and grab that out and then put it out in a world in a way that makes it approachable, digestible, and usable. And that's what fires me up. And so I'm excited that I'm a part of a company that I get to play in really great clothes, and then do that teaching and training and learning part. And I'm delighted that I found it. And I found it late in life. So those of you who are on your journey, and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, or I don't know if I'm on the right path, just keep going, keep learning, keep exploring, keep experimenting. I didn't figure out what I was really good at, honestly, until I was in my later 30s, and I'd already had all my kids. So just keep going.
Oh, Bevan, thank you. That is so powerful. You are, I agree 100%. It is a journey, and you just spoke of, your focus and your passions. And I just want to thank you so deeply for sharing all of that with everyone, because we are all on our journey, as they say. 2020, as I've been saying in every talk I've given this summer, it has been quite the ride for all of us. But you mentioned so much about staying centered and saying and really being aware of what serves you and what makes you thrive, and that is so important. So thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So, so to build on that, and to build on focus, and to build on passion, we are going to move forward into how to build your confidence toolkit. And so, for those of you who know me a little bit, or have heard me before, I love acronyms. And so, the other thing that Bevan said that I loved was the research and all that good, juicy, like, information. I love information, and I also think it's really important to put it and package it in a way that's usable and actionable, as Bevan shared. So I love acronyms. And so for me, that's a really great way to take information and sort of make it digestible and memorable. So today's acronym is DANCE. So who's going to do a little dance with me? Yeah? Let's get that. Yeah, I see you guys. Oh, I love it. So we're going to do a little dance. And the first, so DANCE, and the first, the D in dance that we're going to open up with is all about define the future you want. Define the future you want. And so one of the things that I love that Dr. Davia shared earlier was she had a vision, and she was like, I get visions. And for me, visualization is so important. It is just one of those first initial steps to take when it comes to imagining the most successful version of yourself. And so one of the ways that I like to do this is really by just looking at how you move through your day, right? Your ideal day. In the future, next week, which is in the future, right? It doesn't have to be far away. And just really looking at what your ideal week would look like, your ideal month, and so on and so forth, and just building it up from there. And sort of what can be helpful in this exercise is because sometimes it's a little jarring, like, Bevan talked about giving yourself permission, and it's like, well, who am I to be doing that? Or who am I to be that person? So sometimes it's a little easier to say, you know what, give her a name, make her, like, give her a completely different name and say, okay, that's me. She's going to have a totally different name, or maybe she's your initials, your first name and your middle name initials, but just take it out of yourself so you can really dive deep and start to think about, what does your ideal future day really, really look like, right? So what does your ideal future event look like? Let's say if you're in a business where it's event centered, and you basically, maybe you have a virtual experience to do, and you're like, what does that look like? What are the components involved? We were just talking about how Transformation 2020 transformed in 2020, and it had to look a little bit different, right? So really getting a sense of what that looks like. So what does your ideal future client look like? Who are you working with next month? Who do you want to work with next month? Who are you attracting? And my favorite in this visualization exercise, and one of the key pieces of branding, I believe, in personal branding, is your ideal activities. What are you doing? What ideally are you doing during your day? And this is so critical for brand building. And I have a little bit of a different approach to this, because your communications and your brand experience is basically a reflection of what you do. It's a reflection of what you do. And so I don't know if anybody is into any superhero movies. I am, yeah. So there was that one scene in one of the Batmans, and one of the lines was, it's what we do that defines us. And that was one of the lines that I just, some lines from movies you just always remember. That was one of the ones that really stuck with me. And I'm like, wow, that's deep. Like, very simple, but very deep. So we're going to think a little bit deeply on activities. And so what are some of the future activities that are in alignment with your grand vision? Or what are some of the current activities that you either do now and you want to amplify and do more of in the future? So I invite anybody who wants to share, but some ideas for this: could it be speaking? Could it be more writing as an activity? Could it be more networking? Could it be, Bevan talked about one of the things she realized that she needed to be doing was being in relationship with people. And that helped drive her to figure out, like, okay, this is where I need to be. And it let her know, oh, wow, I'm in the right place. So does anybody want to share their ideal activities that they believe are in alignment with who they are supposed to be? Oh, Janice, yes.
Yes, well, one of my activities is circling back to the Ladies Power Lunch group, of course. So I love what we're doing here, and Dr. Davia is such a wonderful inspiration in what she's doing, and I just appreciate her so much. And what I want to do more is just focus on women and focusing on, because we women kind of drive everything out there, like they always say, the man, is controlled by the woman, because we're the neck that turns the head, so to speak. And so I believe that we as women can impact so many people, because we're the nurturing person, we're the go-to person for the men, for the women, for the kids, whoever. Everyone comes to the women usually for advice and for nurturing whatever we need to do. So that's one of the things I wanted to do, is kind of come back to the ladies group and connect, because you guys have such a wonderful network here, and I just appreciate everyone and their advice and all that you bring to the table. So it's so much for me to learn and grow, and just building those relationships. And that's one of those things, is building. I'm a relationship networking person. I love to be around people. And that's what I miss the most with all this COVID, is being able to see people face to face. So getting back to what we're doing right now is very important for me. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Janice. I love what you shared, because it's not only important to know what you need to be doing, it's important to know where you need to be so that you can do those things. And so I really appreciate you for sharing that. And I can't wait to see more of you, because I've seen you a little bit on virtually. So this is really great. Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to say, as we move forward, because we have a couple more letters to get through, I want to make sure we get through all of them. But, this is really where the mindset and the personal growth really come into play. It's about getting clear on who you want to become and knowing what it takes to get there. And that's really the key pieces that can pave the way for making and manifesting your new reality in a way that is in alignment for you to be optimal. So I just absolutely love this. And I just want to say that having a clear sense of direction, it always just invigorates your confidence even more. It's kind of like, if you've been behind somebody driving, I've been that person too, who doesn't know where they're going, but they clearly don't know where they're going. And how confident are they? They're like, they kind of put their turn signal on. They're not quite sure if they should turn, right? But when you know where you're going, and there's many routes to get there, right? But if you drive with a little bit more confidence, right? So it is so important to have that vision that is your North Star, that keeps you going towards where you need to be. So I'm super excited. So again, just define the future that you want, get clear on what that looks like and what you need to be doing. So we're going to move on. Any questions so far? Awesome. All right. So now we're on to A, right? So A in dance is for audit your lifestyle. Audit your lifestyle. And so the last power note, power prenote, tongue twister, we had Gina on, and Gina Raposa talked about awareness. And I just love the way that she framed it. And she talked about just simply checking in with yourself and what you notice. And so important. And so today, what I want to focus on is how you want to feel as you work toward your grand vision day to day. What are the desired feelings that you want to evoke, and what's going to empower you to feel confident? And really identifying the gaps that you need to get there. And so for me, this lifestyle audit is an approach to do that, because to focus on your own self-care and alignment, and I think self-care has been such a hot topic this summer, and man, boy, have we needed it, right? But I believe confidence comes from within, and one of the challenges that women face that I have seen is figuring out where they should focus. Where do you start when it comes to building confidence? Where do you begin? There's so many different points of entry, right? So this lifestyle piece is a great strategy that I have used to really just hone in on that focus. And so whenever I have this conversation with my clients, we always begin by just going through their movements and analyzing their day. Like, we talked about what's your future day look like? Well, this is like, well, let's look at your day right now. What is going on? Let's just look at that from dawn till night and just asking yourself honestly, are you caring for yourself in the most optimal way possible? Because let me tell you, it reflects in how you communicate with people and it impacts your brand, how you feel. It's how you make others feel. It's so, so important. And it's one of those nuanced things that may not be as visible or as evident to see just looking at a website or just kind of looking at some business cards, right? So this is so important, especially when you're doing what Janice is talking about. You're out there in the world networking. So think about all of the wellness elements, right? Your food, your water, your sleep. Sleep is good. Rest is good, right? Exercise, mental and emotional health. And so Dr. Davia is a doctor. So we have some great resources right at our fingertips for really being well. And so looking and just understanding and working through the areas of self-care that just need more attention in your life can be a game changer. And so more importantly, what you can do about it, because all of these things impact how you feel. And I will share a quick personal story. For a while in my 20s, I was, lacking a lot of energy, and it was a symptom of burnout. And I just didn't even know what that was at the time. I just thought, I just need to keep working. I just need to keep, going for it. I just need to keep, just on that hamster wheel. And, it certainly wasn't optimal. And it certainly was not helping me be my best self in my zone of genius. And so I had to pull over and do an audit, and I had to kind of just say, you know what, let's figure out how I can make those lifestyle changes that can set the right boundaries to shift how I felt, to shift what I was able to create, and just really be more optimal and live in that zone of genius. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to brainstorm. And I promise we're getting to the really fun stuff soon. I promise you, because I know we're here to talk about the fun stuff, but we're getting there. So let's just really talk about, how do you want to feel? So do you want to feel inspired? Do you want to feel motivated? One of the things, I lived in New York City for a while, and I always was wearing black, like all the time, because it was like just the color we wore, right? I wear that color all the time. And finally I'm like, I want to feel more vibrant. So today I'm wearing hot pink, because I'm like, you know what? I want to get that, my higher vibration. I just wanted to, hold on to whatever is left of summer, right? It's still summer. So does anybody want to share some emotions of how they want to feel with the group? Yes, Dr. Davia, I see you. Oh, you're on mute, my dear.
I realize that I'm muted. Okay, so how do I want to feel? I want to feel in flow. Like, I just want to feel like I'm everything that's coming at me. I know exactly what to do. I know all the things, and it's just flowing. That's how I want to feel every single day. I like when I come into the office and patients come in and they say, okay, this thing is going on. And I'm like, no problem. We're just going to do this other thing and you're going to be A-okay. And I want to come to my computer and get ready for ladies' lunch things, and everything just flows smoothly. And when I go home to my family, they're all behaving fantastically and just everything's just in flow. That's how I want to feel every single day.
I love that. That is sort of how I vision my day. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, it's going to be perfect. And everyone's going to be on board with this whole game plan. I love that, because, and I think it's so important to want to the flow piece. Thank you. I wrote that down. I didn't have that listed, but I love that. Does anybody else have an emotion that, or feeling that they're like, this is how I want to feel? All right. Well, if it comes to you, just put it in the chat. But I'm going to give you a few more. Thank you so much, Dr. Davia. I love that. I'm adding that to my list of go-to feelings for the week. But, uplifted. Do you want to feel uplifted? Do you want to feel energized? I talked about, I wanted to feel energized. That's one of the things I worked on for a really long time. Do you want to feel focused? That's important. Happiness. Do you want to feel happy? Do you want to feel visible, right? You know, branding is about being seen. It's about people knowing who you are and wanting to connect with you. You know, do you want to feel healthy, right? Do you want to feel joyful? So thinking about the way that you want to feel. And one thing I will invite you to do is don't focus on worrying about feeling that way in the future. Right now, like we're going to talk about a confidence toolkit that's going to help you get there like tomorrow, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about just understanding the feeling that you want to feel and getting there as soon as possible, like 5 minutes from now. It's just, and the simplest things can change your mood and change your feeling. And so think about what that feeling is that you want to do and how you want to feel. So
I have some comments over
oh,
here from Facebook. So Noelle, she says, love hot pink, such a bright color. When I want to feel inspired and powerful, I think of the endless possibilities that I can and want to accomplish and tackle them from there.
love that. Endless possibilities. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, sometimes it's feeling of hopefulness, inspiration, just feeling like, yeah, like just seeing that vision. We talked about that, right? Endless possibilities. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you, Dr. Davia. And if there's any more in the chat that I missed, just let me know. Pull over. This is we're in flow. We are in, we are in flow. So now we're going to we talked about defining the future that you want, the D in dance. We talked about the A, auditing your lifestyle. And now we're going to go on to the N in dance, which is navigate accordingly toward your grand vision. So that's navigate accordingly to your grand vision. So I believe confidence is fueled by knowing the next step and having a strong sense of direction and having a plan. So when you know where you want to go, you know, if you're like, okay, this is my destination, now you can think about, all right, am I taking the highway? Am I taking the scenic route? Do I need to have a combination in my game plan? And this is where strategy comes into play. So important when it comes to branding, because there's so many different things to focus on, but having a plan to get them done and accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish that then lead you to your grand vision that you're looking to achieve, and how you feel on the way getting there is so key. So this is what I like to call goal-oriented action planning, and that's all part of how you navigate accordingly. And so a few things that I want to just point out as we kind of cover this piece is being careful or mindful of invisible roadblocks that can get in the way of your goals. And those can sometimes be, sometimes they're the obvious stuff, right? Okay, what's the obvious stuff? Like, oh, I need to find somebody to build my website and I don't know who to, like that's some of the obvious stuff. But some of the invisible stuff that gets in our way is limiting beliefs, right? Imposter syndrome, which is, it just affects how we feel. Or simply deep down knowing that whatever it is you're working on, or maybe you don't know, but it might not actually be in alignment with what you really want. And so that's really important why to go back to the top and say, define the future that you want, audit your lifestyle and see how, and fill in the gaps so you can make it happen. And then really making sure that you're having a plan that navigates you towards that grand vision, step by step, day by day, week by week. As we said, it is a journey, not a race. And so really that is something that I hope can empower everybody this week as we plan our fall season, is to really think about how to navigate accordingly. And I'm so thrilled on the 21st, we're going to be talking about how to transform some of the obstacles that we face, because that's all part of navigation. It's going to be, how do we navigate around these obstacles and transform them into something that is now pushing us towards, all right, hey, I learned how to overcome this, and now it just becomes part of your story. So before we get into anything else, I'm just going to pause really quickly and see if there's any questions or anything that I missed in the chat before we get to the really fun stuff. And it's all fun to me. I think it's all fun. Wow, a few new people have hopped on. Awesome. Very good. All right.
We have quite a few people over here with us. Oh, sorry. I have quite a few people over here with us on the chat. I have Hannah, Lorena, Crystal, Marianne, and Noelle. And basically everybody's saying hi and Lots of hearts over here. This one's for Bevan. Hi, Bevan. I love Discover Peach Attire. I have a few pieces. Crystal can't join us on Zoom because her app isn't loading, but she loves this very much. Hannah says, hi, everyone. And Lorena says, hi, ladies. So just so you know, there's lots of love coming to you from over in Facebook land. Dorina says she's going to hop off, but she'll catch the recording.
I love it. I love it. And speaking of how we're feeling, I am feeling the love from all of you ladies. So thank you. That is awesome. That is awesome. So we are going to journey forward here. And we're going to now get to, we talked about the D, define the future you want. We talked about the A, audit your lifestyle and see where you're at and how you're feeling. We talked about the N, navigating accordingly towards your grand vision and creating a plan for yourself, step by step, day by day, that gets you to where you want to go. Now we're going to talk about the C in dance, which is create your confidence toolkit. So create your confidence toolkit. So I am super excited about this because, you know, the items that you have in your closet, that's what we're going to talk about. And if you don't have, and this is why I think this is so important, because we have to be able to, as women, right, we have like, you know, we could just do anything at any point. I think all women we're secret superheroes. So the items that you have in your closet can really be tools to empower yourself. And this next section is going to be about linking those items to the emotions and feelings that we've identified earlier, and really capturing just a look that matches your best self, that when you're operating in your zone of genius, it just elevates you to that next level. And so I'm a big history geek. And one of the things that I love watching the History Channel, secret. That's not so secret anymore, I guess. But from the beginning of time, you know, human beings have used objects and clothing symbolically. And so, you know, from all different cultures, from all over the world. And so this is a time for you to kind of create your own confidence culture for yourself and sort of creating a toolkit that's going to do that for you. And so what this looks like, and I'm just going to share what this looks like for me. So the toolkit building blocks that we're going to talk about today, and there's so many, but we're going to talk about, well, really 4 main ones, but the 3 that we're starting off with is a beauty item. The second one is a wardrobe piece. And the third one is an accessory item. And so I'm going to move into this, and I'll kick it off because I'm going to ask people to share. Dr. Davia, you were telling me about these shoes, and I was just like, I need to hear more about these shoes and why you love them. And you don't have to show them, but I just want to hear about how they make you feel. But for me, so the beauty item that I always take with me, and I am traveling right now, and not traveling, but temporarily relocated, and you know, one of the things that I struggled with when I was younger was I could not find my makeup color at all in any department store. And I was just like, and it was frustrating. And I felt like, oh my God, what's wrong with it? You know, when you're young and you just want to, like, you know, you want to just go to the mall. And I went going, nothing. And I kind of found a color. But then the company, the department store brand, discontinued it. And so I'm like, oh no. What am I gonna do? And so luckily I ran into a makeup artist who happened to be a colorist, a hair colorist, and she was also a custom cosmetic specialist. And so she inspired me so much because she created for me a custom color that was like me in a bottle. And every time I put it on, I felt like, oh my God, it was just like formulated just for me, everything that I wanted. And every time I put it on, it was sort of like, it really washed away all of those insecurities and all of those frustrations and all of those feelings of feeling like I'm not a fit for the item in the store, which is absolutely ridiculous. And so I always carry it with me, and it's me in a bottle. I literally say that. And it's actually one of the services that I do offer in my confidence workshops that I do. But it's just like, it really unlocked. I'm like, oh my God, we can create what we want for ourselves. Like, that's why custom clothing exists. Like, that's why tailor is in business. Like, it doesn't, there, you know, it's not like we're not designed to fit into somebody else's ideal of whatever it is they think. Like, we are all unique. And it just like kind of just put me on this path of, I was so empowered. And that was from a bottle of foundation, like seriously. And I and it was like crazy. So that's like one of those examples, or one of those ways that, something that you either put on your skin or something that you put on your body can really just transform the way you feel and just release any kind of negativity or belief or whatever that was associated, whatever trauma, we've had in the dressing room, can really, really just be released. And so I want to open with that little story. And right now I'd love to hear if anybody has anything that they would want to share. Oh, Candida, I'll share how we can work together at the end. Absolutely. Anything that they want to share, either in any of those categories, in beauty, in wardrobe, or in accessory. And I'm super excited. Oh, Janice, did you raise your hand? Did I miss it?
Yes, I did. I raised my hand. Well, one of the things that with the networking and so forth, virtual, not so much, but when I do in-person meetings, I have to have cologne. So I definitely want to do that. And mint is another thing. You have to have mints. So you definitely don't want to turn anyone away. And now that we're meeting, you may not need the mint so much because we're wearing masks. So that's one of the things. But I kind of want to share this really quick. It's a personal thing, but it's so funny. If you can see this. This is a picture of me that my mom gave me at 3 years old on the phone. And so this is my inspiration. Ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be on the phone and always wanted to be chatting with somebody. And so it just reminds me of who I am as a core person, because I love to talk to people and I love to just share personal stories and accomplishments and listen to people and kind of like automatically spend 5 minutes and I'm like your best friend. And that's just who I am. And so I kind of look at myself as that way. But another thing is eyeliner. And I know that I know who I am and what kind of accentuates who I am. And so I've been told that I have a really nice smile. And so I have to have a lipstick or a liner or something, and then the eyeliner to pop my eyes, because I was told that I have very nice eyes. And so when you know yourself and you listen to other people of what they like about you, you bring that out and you accentuate that and make it bigger and bolder. And then my daughter also said, and I have a business jacket that I like to wear because I want to feel in the zone of being a business person. But my daughter said something to me and she says, you have to know where your roles are and your folds are. So as we go through these changes in our bodies, sometimes we want to wear this particular outfit, but yet it may reveal a roll or a fold that you don't want to show. So just with that in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I can't wear that, but I know I can wear this until I get on the treadmill and lose a little bit more weight. Then I can get back into that dress. But I got to know where my roles are. So that's one thing I found that was very helpful, just for that little conversation with my daughter. So I appreciate her for that.
Janice, I absolutely adore you.
I love that. I love that. Janice, let me just give you a little plug for our member, Carol, because Carol is in the upliftment business, and what she provides are my favorite undergarments called Ruby Ribbon. And so bye-bye rolls, and also there are no folds.
I actually saw her on one of our last meetings and I wanted to reach out to her. So when I do start doing more in-person meetings, I was gonna say I needed to buy that. I do have something that I do wear a little tuck thing, and kind of suck it in. But just sometimes it just may pop out and never know. So I just wanted to.
I love it. Oh man, this is so good. And there's so much goodness here. I love Carol too. She's just, I'm like, I just absolutely adore that woman. Uplifting is what she does. You were spot on, Dr. Davia. And, it is so important. And one of the things I will say in the garment power piece is always having the right undergarment what is always, always so important and so critical. So thank you, Janice. And another thing I will say is that it's important to ask your friends, you know, your family, like the people around you who love you, like they tell you all the time, like what's awesome about you. They tell you you have a nice smile, you have a nice eyes. And sometimes you tend to be a little like, oh, whatever, you know, like, but really like when somebody compliments you, like be like let it, take it in and just make a moment of it for yourself and hold on to that, because that is powerful, to know your assets and to own your assets, not only to know it and own it. And I just love what you shared so much with that. That is so powerful. And I also love that you have, you know, this doesn't have to be something you wear, but you know, a confidence, something that symbolizes confidence for you, you know, is a picture. And so you can surround yourself with that. And we're not getting into our space, and there's so many other people that deal with our space and how we, you know, create, you know, harmony in our space, in Ladies Power Lunch specifically, but that's important too. I always have a little piece of quartz crystal on my desk. You know, I have like these little things, these colors around me that really kind of help boost. And so all of these things are so important. So this is fantastic. And do we have any comments from Facebook? I would love to hear what everybody's saying.
Why, yes, we do have comments from Facebook. So Noelle says for her beauty item, she loves her mascara. I love makeup, and a little bit of mascara does wonders for the eyes. For her wardrobe, she says pretty, colorful blouse brightens your skin and brings presence. Accessory item, statement necklace, works with any outfit to dress it up or down. And then Audra had to drop off. She says, so can't wait to watch this on the replay. Marianne says, I wear very little makeup, but always have mascara. I identify with that. Absolutely. I adore my long eyelashes. I love that she said that. It makes me feel so bright and bright-eyed. And Crystal says, I love a bold lip, big earrings, bright colors. I used to want to hide, but this reminds me that I'm worthy of standing out. And then Noelle, I guess she was commenting on my inappropriate comment. Ruby Ribbon is the best, because Carol is awesome. Yep, that's what I got over here.
I'm doing a dance for all the ladies. That is amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I have to say, you guys are giving me so much. So one of the things I will say is that you don't have to, I'm a makeup junkie, but some days I'm not. Some days I'm like, I don't really want to. The days I do it because I really want to put it on, and it makes it like brings me joy. And if there's a day that you don't want to, you know, so that's okay, because the other part of this, it's beauty, and beauty also involves skin and skincare. And so like, maybe it's just really using that face scrub you love that just feels so good because it gets in, you know, it could be any of these things. And so there's just such a range. And I love that. Yes, Candi, eyeliner and lip gloss, my kind of girl, me too. So there's just so many amazing ways that we can, you know, take these objects that we use every day and just like, and just endow them with these feelings that make us feel amazing and confident and boost and amplify our performance in the world. And so I am just so thrilled. And so I invite everybody to continue to build your confidence toolkit, you know, with the items that you, your beauty items and your wardrobe pieces and the accessories, the statement accessories. So I wore these today. My stylist, Katia Garcon, picked these out for me for the pageant that I competed in last summer. And I was like, no, I don't want it. She was like, just try it. So sometimes it's about getting out of your comfort zone. And I can tell you now, I'm like, I love statement earrings now, you know? So, and I'm like, I put them on and they're fun. And I'm just like, yes. And so it's all about fun. And at the end of the day, the reason why I love starting off with the closet is because you can easily have a good time. And it's sort of just brings you back to yourself about, you know, how to care for yourself and how to give yourself time to really just honor you. And that's what this is all about. And so I'm going to go through a couple of ideas and inspiration. Does anybody else have anything they want to share before I slow down? So if you're not quite sure where to start, I'm going to give you a couple of tips. Creative research is always a good place to go. Just, get on Pinterest or Instagram and see what inspires you, see what lights you up. Hire and work with a stylist. It can always be a great way as well. We had Bevan on today. And so there's just so many different ways, because, working with somebody else that, kind of has it outside and can see things that maybe you can't is another great way to sort of get inspired and really kind of step out into your best self in a more powerful way. I want to say another tip is love the skin that you're in, right? The skin is just so important. It's our biggest organ. It's where everything that shows up first in the skin. So just love your skin, care for your skin, cleanse, tone, moisturize. I always say that to all my girls, like, love your skin, do all of those great skincare steps. And if you need some help with that, I can always help you out with that. Make it colorful. It's another tip, find your confidence power colors. And Dr. Davia, we talked about this when we first started to talk, and we were like, your power color can change season to season. Like, this is not written in stone. Like it could be, in the springtime, I was like into metallics. I was like, hey, gold. I actually brought my little gold metallic earrings that sometimes I wear when I'm feeling like a little more, metallic action, just to throw back to sort of, a little bit of a ancient kind of, just a completely different mood and a completely different vibe. It can be anything, but play with it, have fun. And, no matter what this is, you can step out of your comfort zone and just, if you're not in the habit of stepping out of your comfort zone, this is a great way, through a new color or just through a new makeup piece, to just take a small step. Because with the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a small step. So maybe you're not ready to get on stage tomorrow and talk to a room full of 300 people, but maybe it's time to try that bold lip color. Just get in the habit of being outside of your comfort zone and really thriving and feeling optimal. So another quick tip I will say, please keep it fresh. By what I mean is that we all know what it's like to have old pantry items that have survived since the 90s. I do not. What I mean is clothing, makeup, anything that goes on your skin or body, making sure that, you're keeping it, maintained and fresh, and you're just, cleaning out the old products, cleaning out things that are expired, tossing things that have holes and stains and stuff. And just really, we're home at, just because we're home and we're on Zoom, like, I had to start to wear, I was like, no, I have like my new Zoom wardrobe now, and it makes me feel good. So it doesn't have to be what you were wearing when you were out, but making sure that whatever it is that you're sitting in and as you're interacting with people virtually, feel good about what you're wearing and how you're presenting yourself. And finally, just create success stories around all of these pieces and continue to embed them with just great stories and great feelings and things that remind you of being positive and happy. And so I'm just super, super honored to share some of those tips with you. Any thoughts before we move into the E of dance? Because we're rounding out to our final 10 minutes here. So glad we were able to keep time. Love it. Okay, I just was checking the chat. Awesome. So let's do a quick review. We defined the future that we wanted, right? We talked about how to audit your lifestyle and just sort of find those gaps and feel and how you want to feel. We talked about how to navigate accordingly toward your grand vision. We talked about creating your confidence toolkit with some of the things that are already in your closet or in your makeup bag, or as we were inspired to do, what's around you on your desk or in your home. So now we're finally at the E in dance, and that is all about embracing confidence affirmations. And so to me, this is the magic that rounds out the confidence toolkit, because it's so important to continue to do the inner work. That is a key part of confidence. And so for me, I started to shift from and really focus on shifting from limiting, oh my God, what ifs, to limitless I ams. And so these I am statements can be so powerful and so empowering. And I want to share a quick story. So I recently started my fitness, restarted my fitness journey. Don't really love to run. I have done it. I've had a hard challenging time finding routines that stick for me. So I recently started doing at-home bar workouts, which is all ballet-inspired movement, and I kind of like it because she tells you to smile as you're doing it, and it's kind of feels pleasant, and you kind of dance around a little bit. If you were listening, I like to dance. I'm like, all right, this is good. But, there are times when I'm not confident I'm going to make it through the 30-minute workout. My confidence is like, I don't know. But one of the things this particular instructor does is she starts off every single class with this affirmation. And she'll start it off and she'll say, I am centered, if we're working on our core workout. And I'm like, all right, got to make it through this. Or when we were doing lower body, it was like, I am grounded. And then she's like, smile, you're grounded. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. And I'm just like repeating these things in my head. And sure enough, I make it through the workout. And so the power of affirmation can just really transform an experience and really transform how you bring your energy. And so it really is something that I've been working with more. I used affirmations last summer when I was a pageant competitor, and I had a little bit of a unusual circumstance there. I was actually in pre-surgery prep the night of the competition. Long story that I won't get into, but for anybody who's ever been in pre-surgery prep, it wasn't quite planned, but I was really, really hungry. Like, I was starving. And the girls were eating backstage. Like, somebody was eating like Thai food, and I was like, oh my God. And I had to just keep saying to myself, no, I'm doing this. And that was my affirmation. I'm doing this. And that was it. And so before we wrap up, I just want to invite anybody to share any powerful affirmations that helps them, keeps them confident, or helps them just boost them through. Please just raise your hand, do a little dance if you want to share. Dr. Davia.
So I'm glad Janet's on this call because she knows this affirmation so very well. And it's because of her introducing me to somebody that I know considered to be one of the best mentors I've ever had, that I learned this affirmation from. And it is, I am positively expecting great results no matter what I see in front of me. And when I learned that affirmation, it was just kind of like, okay, I'm positively expecting great, whatever. But you know what? Like, on the days when it's not going exactly as planned, on the days when, let me just say, on the days when it's a shit show, being able to positively expect great results, even though what I'm looking at is not great, is really what makes all the difference for me. So I love that affirmation. You love it too, right, Janet? Yeah, I know you'd like that one.
I love it. Oh, so, go for it, Janice. Go for it.
I'm sorry, I'm a chatty person, right? So you know who I am. But I just wanted to share one thing on the same note as what Dr. Davia was talking about. One of the things that I've learned is to do the I am statements, but also what I've done in the past and currently have done, recently, is be on a circle of love, what we call a circle of love group. And they call me the PP lady. And I say that because we do things in the natural. So every morning we get up and the first thing that we usually do is get up, brush our teeth and go pee-pee. And so what I say is our PP statements, which are things that are positive in the present tense. And so we have to do that every single day. And so they call me Cousin PP because my cousin is the is the host of that little talk show. So I come on and I just talk about different things and give a positive statement every day. So we always say to each other, did you PP today? And so that's one of the things I just wanted to share with you. And like Dr. Davia was talking about, making sure that we say something and see it. Whatever our statements are, we should make it visible so that way we can look at it every single day and remind ourselves that no matter what, and have a little checklist. If everything goes wrong, find one thing that was positive that we can at least say happened that day, and that will at least give us a little boost for the next day, even if it was not that great.
I love that. Mindset is so important as part of it, and sort of, just going into things. And I was, oh gosh, it was, I was over the summer, Keisha Zullo's Women in Business Summit. One of the quotes was, and I took notes on it, and Karen Millsap, that's who it was. And one of the quotes she had was being positive will always make it better, but being negative will always make it worse. And I just remembered that. And I was just like, oh, yeah. And what you just said and shared in terms of affirmation and sort of keeping your mind right, Janice, that really brought me right back there. So thank you for sharing that. And you're, right, top of the day. It's so important to start your day right. Fantastic. Anybody else have an affirmation to share? We have 4 minutes. I'm just going to drop my email in the chat for anybody who wants to. Oh, Janet, hi. So you just unmute yourself. Perfect.
Okay. So what I always do, I'm sorry, you might hear my son's class going on, but I always like to say I am a queen. Can you hear me? I am a queen. So when I teach a class, I don't care. It could be a group of manufacturers. It could be construction workers. I always tell my students, you're a queen. And it kind of shocks them because we're not in a place where we talk like that, but it's for real. And I think just saying that helps people realize that they got this, like they have control and they can get it done. So that's mine.
I'm going to double down on that. You are a queen. I love that.
You are too.
I really believe that. Oh man, Janice says, my life is like a camera I develop from. Oh, I love that. My life is like a camera I develop from the negatives. Janice, thank you. I had t-shirts made for, oh, wow. That's amazing. I'm going to contact you for a shirt that says that because I love it. Oh, wow. This is so rich. Any other positive affirmations that anybody wants to share? Any of our queens want to share?
I have Marianne over here on Facebook. She says, I am joy expressing. And Noelle says, you are wonderfully created. So that's really nice.
Yes, I love these. Wow, this is just so powerful. And so as we wrap up, I just encourage everybody to continue on your own journey and do your dance, whatever that looks like to you. Define your future as you want it, audit your life and feel good, navigate accordingly toward your brand vision, create your confidence toolkit, and embrace your confidence affirmations to just power yourself through your day every single day. Thank you so much to Dr. Davia for having me on. Thank you all the ladies for participating today. I dropped my email in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to me, Candi@candisterling.com, Candi with an I. I just love connecting and just keeping the flow and staying in flow with all of you. So this was really great.
Thank you so much, Candi. This was so wonderful. Really, really beautiful that you were able to join us today all the way from Germany. Ladies, I know you want more of Candi. I know we just cannot get enough Candi in our lives, can we? So please do join us for our Ladies Power Lunch Fall Summit, which is going to be virtual, but it will not be lacking in terms of what it brings to the table. Our focus is going to be on taking the things that have shown up as obstacles in our life for this year and turning them into opportunities. I feel like we could all use a little bit of that. We are going to be having our Fall Summit on September 21st. If you haven't as yet gotten your ticket, I invite you to go ahead and head on over to our Eventbrite site and get your ticket. And if you use the code CANDI, CANDI, you will actually get a discount on your ticket. So thanks everybody for joining us. And now I'm going to hop off this call, but keep the conversation going over in our Facebook group, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.